Tristan Leavitt represents the IRS whistleblower, Gary Shapley. And sir, good morning to you, and thank you for your time. We're going to try and cut through this as best we can. There are numerous claims this whistleblower makes. A request to investigate the guest house at Joe Biden's home was blocked, he alleges. Inspection of a storage facility in Washington, D.C., that was blocked as well. The DOJ says this is bunk. It did not happen. Take us to the very top of all these claims. What do you believe, based on your client's testimony, is the most serious charge?
Well, as you point out, there's a lot of layers of that, right? And so there's certainly one of the most difficult things is the allegations that were never able to be investigated. So those clearly require more follow-up. Those include what David read in terms of WhatsApp messages where Hunter alludes to his father being there, other information related to Burisma. The underlying investigation was only partially done. Beyond that, the real challenge right now with the Department of Justice denying that any of President Biden's appointees, including U.S. attorneys in California, in the District of Columbia, they say that they didn't block these charges from being brought. But it's clear, both from the documents, from the testimony, and those have been corroborated by multiple individuals, that tax charges for 2014 and 2015, which is when the Burisma income came into Hunter Biden, were allowed to lapse. So there's no way to go back. There's no way to recover that income. There was, massive foreign income that came in those years for Hunter Biden. And DOJ says this was all on David Weiss. But witnesses, including the special agent in charge and assistant special agent in charge for the FBI, their Baltimore field office, for the IRS, including Gary, were all there when David Weiss told others DOJ was blocking him from doing this. And so DOJ needs to answer that.
DOJ, I think, wanted this to just go away on Monday afternoon after these were announced. That's not happening, and I think that it's impossible for that to continue. So Merrick Garland, if he does not comment before the press, he will have to do so certainly in front of Congress. So this issue is not going away. Your client today, Mr. Shapley, what is his employment status with the United States government?
He's still a supervisory special agent with the IRS. He's had a sterling career. I mean, he has helped investigate and see prosecuted massive international tax schemes. He's helped to recover $3.5 billion for the United States government through his investigations. But he was taken off this investigation. The case agent that he supervises was taken off this investigation. And so there's a very, very real problem with the retaliation here. And of course, when you look at Chris Clark, Hunter's attorney, he told prosecutors last summer that to charge his client would be career suicide. And so we know that folks are coming for Gary, for the case agent, and so it's really up to Congress to protect them and ensure that they are not further retaliated against.
Will we see him before Congress in an open hearing?
That's an excellent question. The request has not come yet specifically. He has to be careful because taxpayer privacy laws are very strict. And so that's in 26 U.S.C. 6103. That's why we had to go through this very careful process of going to the Ways and Means Committee in the House, because people can't just go and talk about tax investigations. Mm-hmm. So if we can work through that's the main impediment, and so that remains to be seen, whether there's a good way to do that that protects him and ensures that he doesn't run afoul of those criminal laws.
Just wondered, for you as a lawyer, when you first got this case and you started to look into it, what was your reaction? Like, how hot did you think this was?
These are big allegations. I mean, I have worked with whistleblowers for over a decade. My first investigation working for Senator Chuck Grassley was with Operation Fast and Furious. But these relate not only to interference from the Department of Justice, which is, again, I've seen in past cases, but the bigger question in some ways is, why were these allegations that relate to, such significant crimes not fully investigated? And we may never know the ansser to that because of the ways that the investigation was impeded.
You heard what our reporter David Spun said, that someone's lying. Well, someone's not being candid, clearly. And if Merrick Garland comes back from Europe and stands by his word, it's all on your client. All right, the DOJ says it didn't happen. Just a final word on what you would say to that.
Gary Shapley has shared with Congress his notes from an October 7th, 2022 meeting with the U.S. Attorney David Weiss. And his supervisor was also there, the special agent in charge, and said, yes, that's exactly what Weiss told us. So it's either Weiss or Garland who isn't telling the truth. It's up to Congress to try and figure out which it is, and DOJ to provide evidence backing up their claims, which so far have just been, just bald assertions.
Tristan Leavitt, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for coming on. Could be the beginning of another big, long story that goes on for some time. You said the other day when the plea deal was reached, that was the beginning of the re-election campaign for Hunter Biden, right?
Well, no, for Joe Biden. So
yes.
Because Joe Biden announced his re-election, then there wasn't a lot of activity, not a lot of fundraisers, rallies, things like that. That changed as he decided to do a couple things in Pennsylvania last weekend, then he went to California. But the real start to me for the Biden campaign was when Hunter Biden in one day announced plea deals on the tax and gun issue, as well as settle it with
child support.
The woman who is the mother of his child, which he has not acknowledged.
So there's a ton to go through on this. We have just scratched the surface of the claims of this whistleblower, two of them, one anonymous, one has been named. We'll get to more of it throughout the show today.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.